One of the three most popular, easy to buy sound deadening mats has a real problem, which we'll get to soon. But first, we're going to start off with Decibel, as this is the perfect testing ground for our sound deadening mats. And here's why. If your car has zero sound deadening mats, road noise will resonate through the panels like crazy, similar to a cymbal being hit like this. But when you put even a little bit of sound deadening on, this is what happens. So this stuff works, and you only need to cover about 30 to 50% of any given panel, but which mat is the best? We're going to compare Kilmat, Canopus and DodoMat to see which one comes out on top, starting with price. Kilmat comes in various sizes, with the pack I bought costing $42.99, which covers 25 square feet. DodoMat costs $37.99, covering 20 square feet, and Canopus costs $24.95, covering only 5 square feet. So we can see straight away that the Canopus product is a bit more expensive, but if you do want to cover a larger area, they do sell it in an 18 square foot SKU, costing $45.95. So on a cost per square foot basis, Kilmat takes the win here, but there is a reason why Canopus is more expensive, and that's because of its thickness. Canopus mats have a thickness of 80mm, while DodoMats is 70 and Kilmats is 50. So while it is the cheapest, it is also the thinnest, and this trend plays out in weight too. Kilmat weighs roughly 177 grams per sheet, Dodo's weight is roughly 260 grams, so almost 100 grams more, and Canopus is close to 200 grams heavier at a whopping 359 grams, but some people have had concerns about what you actually get in the box versus what is promised. So I checked each sheet of mine from each company and the numbers stack up, so no worries there. And looking at ease of application, all of these products are peel and stick products, making them super easy to apply, but Canopus is the hardest to peel due to it not having an overlapping backing, which the other two do have. So it does make it a little bit more finicky to kind of remove it. But when you do get them removed and ready to apply, it's DodoMat that has the stickiest backing and is the hardest to remove once stuck down, which should give you confidence if you worry about the sound deadening mats lifting. I've used a few boxes of Kilmat on my car already, and there has been zero lift, with some of them being on there for over a year. So I wouldn't worry too much about these products personally, just as long as you apply them properly. And speaking of application, all these products come with a top foil layer which decompresses when rolled to indicate you have applied the mat properly, which is really handy and a very common feature on most sound deadening mats these days. So you don't really want to be missing out on that, and it is quite basic. What isn't basic though is the materials themselves, and surprisingly they are all slightly different. All products are butyl based products, and Canopus comes out on top here, having a non-toxic and asphalt free material, which is really nice, as asphalt, or tarmac as us Brits refer to it, is linked to a whole host of things you probably don't want to breathe in and or have near your person. DodoMat doesn't seem to mention if it is a tar-free product or not, but it does use a synthetic butyl core for supposed added strength, and when we talk about Kilmat, it doesn't seem to say if it is or isn't a tar-free product, but when you smell it, it really smells of tar really badly. So if it turns out it doesn't have tar in it, I'm guessing it probably does. And as I mentioned earlier, I've used Kilmat on my car already, and it does smell when you put your nose near it, but it didn't seem to have a lingering smell when you applied it, and I can't smell it in my car, so you should be fine. But enough of that. Which one is better? To answer that, I set up a little semi-scientific test whereby we're going to apply each material to this cymbal and listen to reverb to see which one dies out the quickest, as this really is the material's prime job. So let's go through those, shall we? I think it's quite easy to hear that the Canopus mats stop the sound travelling through the cymbal much more effective than the DodoMat or Kilmat products, so we have to give the win to Canopus here. But there is a problem, and It's not with the Canopus mats, it's with the Kilmat ones. I compared a 50mm Kilmat product to an 80mm Canopus product, which isn't really fair, but when you look at the test done by Resonix, you can see that even the 80mm mats offered by Kilmat still get beaten by the Canopus offering, and it's by a considerable margin too. Kilmat 80mm mats only gave a decibel reduction of 7.25 decibels, but the Canopus mats with the same thickness gave an 11 decibel reduction, which is massive when talking about sound pressure reduction. And it's worth remembering that a reduction of 3 decibels in sound pressure is considered to be heard by the human ear as a 50% reduction, so it's a huge gap. Canopus also beat Neuco, which is essentially Kilmat by another name, and it even beat DodoMat Extreme, which is a really reputable brand in the US. So does that mean you should just go ahead and buy the Canopus mats? Well, when compared on the whole, Canopus is the thickest product among the 3 tested, the most expensive, has the best material in terms of it being asphalt tar free, and does offer the best results in terms of decibel and reverb reduction, and it also solves Kilmat's biggest problem. You can actually buy it with relative ease. As of right now, Kilmat simply isn't available in the UK, and if you wanted to get a hold of it, it's going for crazy money on eBay, so it's just not viable for UK customers. So is DodoMat the next best thing? I don't think so. While there aren't any decibel figures to show the performance, it sounded very similar to the Kilmat product in the resonance test, even though it's 20mm thicker than it, and overall it just feels a bit generic. It's not like the Canopus product when you pick it up and you think, yeah, this feels like a quality product. With the DodoMat stuff, it just feels average. So my view ultimately is that the Canopus mats just present the best value for money in the UK specifically, and I really wish I'd have used them, as I think I made a huge mistake using the Kilmat products. And if you want to avoid all the mistakes I made when soundproofing my car as a total beginner, this next video is just going to blow you away.